Heyo everybody, Haku here with a review or discussion for Magical Girl Raising Project Unmarked, which is the first light novel in the franchise. It's kind of just Magical Girl Raising Project, but everyone calls it Unmarked. So if you haven't read this yet, go out, definitely, absolutely 1000% read it. Rereading it was like a 10 out of 10 experience for me. But I'm gonna go into this like not spoiler free. We're gonna be talking as if people watching have already read. So yeah, if you haven't read and you don't want to be spoiled, just know that I think it's incredible. I think it's very, very good. Go read. So yeah, let's sort of run down how we got to the point where I'm reviewing this, and then let's talk about Unmarked for a bit. So I had said for a while, on the channel, when the anime first came out, ooh, those videos, I don't know how well they may have aged, because that's like, gosh, that's like at least 5 years ago. When the anime first came out, I made reviews of the anime episodes as each episode came out. Then I went on from there, I read through the light novel, and I made it up to Queens. But somewhere along the way in Queens, I stopped doing videos because I just felt like I wasn't remembering enough. Like there was so much going on in Queens that I'm like, you know what? I need to go back and reread the series because I'm not doing it justice by just not being completely on board with the plot at all times. So I never got a chance to go back and reread until now. I'm like, okay, I've been wanting to do it for like 2 years. I'm like, I'm going to actually do it. And as of the time I'm recording this, I'm already like over halfway through Restart Part 1. So expect a Restart review pretty soon too, I guess. But I don't know if I'll split Restart into Part 1 and Part 2 reviews or if I'll review the whole thing together. Not sure which I'll do. I kind of want to do one for each volume separately, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I reread this. Like I said in the quick little intro, it was a real 10 out of 10 experience rereading. I thought this was great. Even better than I remembered. I will say that I still have the same opinion on it that I had when I read, again, all those years ago, that it's really great, and I think the anime even improved on it. I think the anime just added things to make it even better, which makes me even more excited now that Restart's anime has been announced. It makes me even more excited for Restart's anime because I'm just like, if they were able, and I know it's the same director, I'm pretty certain. I say I know, and then I say I'm pretty certain. But they just adding in things from episodes, further developing the characters, and changing some small things like with the ending in particular. I just think they took what was already there and made it even better. So if they're going to do Restart and then they just sprinkle in things from episodes and give it more time and basically just give it the treatment they gave Unmarked, it makes me even more excited for Restart's anime. I really hope it gets 2 cores, honestly. So yeah, rereading this made me even more excited for that. So yeah, I guess expect reviews for each volume as I finish them, as I'm catching up. Then once we catch back up to Queens, I'll be doing another Every Magical Girl Ranked video to see how my opinions have changed after the reread compared to where I was a few years ago. And then we'll just continue on with our read through from Queens. And I don't know, I skipped Peaceful Days because it hadn't been translated at the time. So I don't know what I want to do with Peaceful Days. Let me know if you want me to do full read throughs for that, or if you want me to just do a review for Peaceful Days. Either way. So yeah, I thought the intro to this was really good. It was a really good way to bring us in. I think the light novel also does a great job at balancing Snow White and Ripple's stories, and it felt more rereading it. You could see much more how like the stories were kind of equally balanced, and we were kind of specifically following Snow White and Ripple more than any of the other girls, technically. I feel like I felt a lot more, like, not that I didn't love Top Speed last time, and not that Top Speed's death didn't affect me last time, but I feel like rereading, I was so much more attached to Top Speed this time than I was last time, and I'm really on a Cranberry Did Nothing Wrong tour after reading this. I always kind of felt that way. I was like, Fav kind of just manipulated Cranberry. She was kind of a victim in all this. And actually, I think the name should be Cranberry with an M, because it had me thinking, like, so the official translation uses cranberry, and I thought the animated cranberry. I thought the anime did Clamberry, but I know Platt's translation did Clamberry. And I'm like, if it was cranberry, katakana, it would be very easy to tell that they meant cranberry, because they would just use so it's like, where do you get an M from? But no, they specifically use kuramoberi. They use the mu instead of katakana. So I think it's specifically supposed to be cranberry as a reference to Mao's cram school, or even just like Japanese cram schools in general. So I think it is supposed to be cranberry with an M. But yeah, Anna Cranberry did nothing wrong to her, because like, she was 9 during the first test. Like, just going through and getting to reread this again, she was only 9 and she was manipulated by Fav all the way since then. She doesn't kill Sister Nana during her first fight with Winter Prison, and Fav gets pissed at her and starts, like, sorry if I accidentally say fall at any point, rereading restarts kind of like bleeding into my brain. But Fav like gets upset at her and yells at her like, why didn't you kill Sister Nana? She's trying to like make the magical girls work together in peace, and it's like not a good thing. She's trying to contact the land of magic. So he gets mad at her for not killing people. When Cranberry does kill La Pucelle, which is like the one bad thing. Like, here's the thing, I'm always like, Cranberry is not an antagonist, given that like she only does one bad thing. She only kills like 2 people, and one of them was a bad person. But yeah, when she kills La Pucelle, she goes to La Pucelle, challenges her, and La Pucelle says, ah, yes, and up to that point in the light novel, La Pucelle's been like, I want to be a knight, I want to defend people, I want to have these noble one-on-one battles, and was really into battling and stuff. So when Cranberry challenges La Pucelle, La Pucelle agrees to it, so it's just a fair fight. We cut away, we don't see the fight like we do in the anime, so as far as the light novel goes, it's just a normal, fair fight that La Pucelle agreed to and lost. Also, all the highway stuff that Calamity Mary was doing, which I'll take a sidebar to say was incredible. That entire, like, chapter or 2, I think it was 2 chapters, dealing with the highway stuff and the Top Speed and Ripple versus Calamity Mary fight, all of that stuff is so good. That stuff was so good rereading it. But when all that stuff happened, Fav is like, why aren't you taking part? And Cranberry doesn't take part in all of that stuff. The reason that Cranberry dies is because even though Cranberry's like, I wouldn't hesitate to kill a child, when she sees the untransformed child Swim, she hesitates to kill Swim, and that's what causes her death. And then in the last chapter, Fav reveals to the audience through just like, you know, the monologuing and stuff, that he was responsible for the accident to begin with in the original test that Cranberry had. Also, the way he tries to jump from owner to owner, it's clear that even if it wasn't Cranberry in specific, Fav would have tried to do this with anyone. And then, when he's, like, confronted at the end by Snow White and Ripple, he tries to throw Cranberry under the bus and blame her for everything. So that's why I'm, like, fully on a Cranberry defense tour, like, Cranberry did nothing wrong, because she only kills 2 people. One of them was a fair fight, the other was, like, a bad person trying to kill her, and the whole game being set up, I just feel like is completely Fav's fault. I 100% blame Fav for, like, all of it. So talking about some other characters though, not just sticking with that one, Ruler, Nemarine, and Magicaloid 44 really benefited from the anime. After rereading, I don't even know if Nemarine says anything in the light novel. I don't think she does. Magicaloid 44 at least gets a little bit of development. Ruler gets very little development. Compared to like the vision of Ruler I had in my head, because of course I've read before, I've read episodes, I've watched the anime. Going and rereading this, I'm like, wow, Ruler gets like no development in this. So they really did benefit from the anime fleshing out their characters, which I think is again going to be a good thing hopefully for Restart. Just getting to flesh out the characters more, because I already think Restart is like the best light novel I've read. It's like one of my favorite things, period, light novel or anything else that I've read. It might even be the #1 just piece of fiction I've read. I love Restart. So if I love it that much and it gets fleshed out and improved upon by the anime, that's going to be incredible. And again, we've already had season 1 did that, so I have reasons to be optimistic. so many of the deaths were super sad. That kind of goes without saying. But like some even hit me that I was surprised. Like when I don't remember who dies first between Uniel and Minael. I never remember which one is which. But when the first Peaky Angel died, I actually felt that. I was like, that's sad. It really felt more like everyone except Calamity Mary was a victim in this. It really came across to me. I'm like, wow, this is so sad. Everyone is a victim except Calamity Mary. She was just awful. She was a legitimately bad person. But everyone else was kind of a victim in this. I guess Swim Swim is arguable, but we'll get to Swim Swim. I think she's a little bit later in the bullet points I have. I already mentioned Ripple and Snow White's journeys both being crazy well written, and the highway stuff being really, really, really good. So yeah, Swim Swim is next. I I hesitate to call Swim Swim an antagonist, but she's kind of an antagonist, at least a sub-antagonist between or beneath Fav. And Swim Swim is a really, really great antagonist, if I'm just using that word, in that we see from the very beginning of the story Swim Swim getting built up and the actions that she's taking, murdering innocent people and doing just horrible, atrocious stuff. We get to see it start out somewhere and then how it continues to warp and escalate more and more and more to the point where she's killing her own friends. And like, it is just like, we get to see that journey of Swim Swim just falling deeper and deeper into villainy. And it's one of those things where I've always been like, wow, Swim Swim's an awful person. Everybody tries to defend her being like, no, but she's just a small kid. How can you say that? But like, I feel like even a small kid taking Ruler's instructions and then going with those instructions and being like, I should murder children. I should murder pregnant people. I should murder my own friends. I feel like there has to be some sort of like disconnect, some sort of like sociopathy there. For Swim Swim to be this way. Then we get to the ending. The ending, I think, is great. But again, I'll stick by what I said years ago. The ending is great, but I think the anime even improves upon it. The stuff with Snow White and Fav's conversation, and then Snow White sort of thinking about, again, it's been years, but I'm remembering it even, thinking about Hardgoralis and everyone and deciding, okay, I need to take action, and running out there to go and stop what's going on between Swim Swim and Ripple, getting the fight between them, and then Snow White showing up there. It's really great in the light novel, and I think the anime adapted that extremely well and even made it better. So this is me both praising and talking up both the light novel and the anime, kind of. But yeah, that's it. Again, like I said at the beginning, I think all in all, if I were to give it a score, I think before I used to say like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I would say this is a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 novel. It is good. It's really good. I love it. Again, it was even better rereading it. So I'm excited to move forward. I'm excited because like before I read online with the fan translations for the for like my original read-throughs. But now for this reread, I've been buying them all physically, like just since I've been reading them. But now I'm reading through them physically in the official translation for this next read-through. So I don't know, it's a new perspective. I mean, I haven't really noticed any difference, to be honest. Not any notable one. It's just basically the same. But yeah, I think that might make things different, and I'm excited to get to some of the later arcs. Like I said, Restart is like my favorite ever, so I'm really excited to see how I feel about that after rereading, and then getting to something like Limited, where I thought Limited was the only arc that wasn't very good. And see, Limited was, to me, I'm getting way off topic, but Limited was like all right all the way through until the end, and then I thought the end was just really bad. I feel like Limited was an okay arc that just didn't stick the ending. So I'm kind of wondering how a reread is going to change my opinion, or if it'll change my opinion on Limited when I get there. But yeah, other than Limited, I thought that almost every arc was like 8 out of 10 or more in quality. It was just really good. So yeah, like I said, I'm almost halfway through the first part of Restart. We'll have more of those coming, and then once I'm done with those, we'll be doing another ranking video, and then we'll be back into the read-throughs and stuff. So yeah, and for the read-throughs, I'm going to go in English release order, so we'll do breakdown whenever it is in the English release order. I don't remember where. And yeah, actually, one last time before I end the video, I wanted to remind you to let me know what you want me to do with Peaceful Days. Do you want like an actual read-through of Peaceful Days? Because I can do that, or I mean, I can do that, but if I'm reading through all of Peaceful Days, you're gonna have to sit through me reading all of Peaceful Days before I get back to Queens. Or if you want me to just straight get back to Queens and just do a review of Peaceful Days. Either way. Or I can do Peaceful Days after Queens. Whatever you want, just let me know your opinions. But either way, that is it. Thank you so much. Like if you did like the video. Comment down there to tell me what you thought of this light novel, what you thought of my thoughts on it. I don't know. Just, you know, continue the discussion down below. I love talking to you all in the comments, on Twitter if you want to follow there. On the Discord server, if you want a link, just ask. We talk about Magical Girl Raising Project there as well. Yeah, I guess that's it. If you want to support the channel by, you know, helping out on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. And if you want to join and become a channel member, that can also help. Just, you know, hit join down below. But thank you to people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you to the chosen regulars, Etchy Zero and Evan Hawley, Magical Girl FR Nono, Cherryton Student David Lingstaff, Slayer Candidate SG, and holy crap, Irregular Tyrone Beast. Thank you all so much. But yeah, either way, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.